Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Unnecessary Roughness YouTube channel.
And we're in an unnecessary room today.
We are. We're in the radio studio. Dave Portnoy had to use our studio. The big boss is allowed
Well,
to take
let
us
him. We let him.
We let him. Like, subscribe, comment.
Clay Helton got fired. Big games this weekend. College football. Make sure you share this too. And if you're watching the video live tonight, like it. Because there's hundreds of people that are watching it and not as many people like it. So like. Enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. It is delicious. We'll get to High Noon in a second. I just want you all to know that Jack, Casey, me, Katie, none of us give a shit about this podcast.
What?
Did you not see that?
He's been reading the comments.
You didn't see that?
No.
What?
What are you talking about?
Facebook group.
Oh, I don't have Facebook. What do you mean we don't give a shit about this podcast?
Who said that?
Some idiot.
Group.
What was his name?
Based off of what?
Y'all didn't see it? Jack, you monitor that, don't you?
Based off of what?
When did he do it? I didn't check.
It was like Monday or Sunday. He was like, I'm old enough to remember when these guys gave a shit about the podcast.
Well, I mean, we've probably committed more time this year than
we
ever
work.
before.
We
Ever
work
before.
15-hour Saturdays.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we work 15 hours.
Well,
hours,
you
but
know what I mean,
we're
but-
around 15 hours.
But I will say, you guys woke up, went to Michigan, came back,
Did a live show
did the
there.
live
yeah.
show, and then that's a lot of.
John Osborne.
That's a lot
What's
on.
his comment?
I'm old enough to remember when they gave a shit about this show. Brandon has way too much going on. The show is an afterthought. So let's get out of the way on Saturday night. Drunk Casey rambles too much and doesn't have
drunk.
Okay.
doesn't have to record the show on Sunday.
I agree with that part.
The record on Sunday days when Brandon had well thought out takes. I watched all of them, but it was better back in the good old days.
Okay, the reason that we're doing it Saturday nights is
So you can have it Sunday morning.
So you can have it Sunday morning. Pardon My Take does the same thing. And by the way, I know people are saying I was drunk. I wasn't drunk. I was exhausted because it was like doing a live show. These people that are like, oh, it's so easy. Like, you have to watch football. Like, we traveled across the country, did a live show for thousands of people, and came back.
I think we should look at. Ridiculous shorts. I think we should look at this as positive, as really a positive moment. Like, we've been doing this podcast for so long. The fans of the podcast are talking about the good old days. That's a success.
But I wasn't.
Jack,
I wasn't
isn't YouTube and aren't we really good right now?
We're doing better than we've ever done. We don't get the audio numbers, but on YouTube we're through the roof.
Well, and I know the sales team is very happy because we keep getting a billion ads.
And then social is through the roof. So
anyway,
John Osborne just
wanted to let you know that it was better when we gave a shit. We definitely don't give a shit when we're up here in this godforsaken city till 2 a.m. on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Suck my dick, John
missing
Osborne.
weddings, literally missing bachelorette parties to make sure that you guys have it early Sunday morning.
I think
just like
this is
Pardon
one
My
guy.
Take does it. I know,
Most
but I'm
people,
just saying.
I've seen a lot of people who have said thank you for doing this on Saturday nights because they like to listen to it on Sunday mornings or even when they're drunk on Saturday nights at 4 a.m.
John Osborne, you don't think that I want to go to sleep earlier and wake up and have recording on Sundays was fine. We also just missed NFL games, and we both covered the NFL too. This is actually what?
I don't really cover the NFL.
Well, you bet on it. I have the NFL show, and just whatever. I'm just more offended that he thought I was drunk.
High Noon Hard Seltzer. They got the lime, the grapefruit, the peach. They got the best flavors in the world. They got the real juice, real vodka, real people like you and me.
They're so far away because we're in the radio room.
Yeah.
Because Dave is recording his podcast, which means naturally, everybody got moved around. Normally I would do the on it, but I can't. It's too far away.
It's way over there.
It's way too far.
It's 4 feet away from you.
I can't even touch it with my feet.
Oh, careful with that angle.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Right.
I'm wearing shorts. Good point. Good point. Solid.
Let's show them a little something.
Did you just
all
show
right.
everyone your...
my flexibility?
Yes. We need to talk about Clay Helton.
I think I just ripped my hamstring off the bone. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. There's obviously a seismic shift in college football out west. And then there's, we didn't talk last week because it did finally become a formality on Friday that the Big 12 just has 4 new teams. We can definitely dive into that, discuss it a little bit, and we'll get into your hot takes later on in the show. Yes, Katie, we got that tweet out?
Yep.
Yes, Jack?
Yeah.
And then we will, of course, take a look at the slate of games. SEC play starts with a banger this week of Alabama and Florida in the Swamp. You've got, I think, maybe outside of Ohio State and Oregon, And Clemson, Georgia, I'd say Auburn, Penn State, one of the most anticipated non-conference games of the year this week.
And I know we'll talk about them in a little bit, but especially because Auburn just seems to just be like, we don't know much about them, like because we haven't been watching them because they've had 2 cupcake games. Yeah, they're a mystery.
They're a mystery. And Cincinnati, Indiana is fascinating. Anyway, and the rematch, I guess not the rematch, but the newest installment of the 50-year anniversary of the game of the century between Nebraska and Oklahoma. Of course, it happened in 1971. Most of you didn't see it. I didn't see it. But let's pretend these teams are still really, really good.
Well, one of them is.
One of them, sure, they're fine. One of the tragic things, not tragic things, one of the problems we ran into was Saturday night of recording. Is we recorded about midnight, and that was really right when USC was starting their game against Stanford. Now, that's if it happens, it happens. But we were able to, when we finished the show, we didn't know USC was about to get embarrassed by Stanford. And they got embarrassed by Stanford. And USC is just too good of a program to get embarrassed by Stanford, who looked lifeless against Kansas State the week before. Therefore, Monday, they answered a question that we've been asking for 3 to 4 years. When's Clay Helton getting fired? It happened Monday. Clay Helton out as USC's head coach.
Well, and we talked. Big Cat just flipped you off.
I know, it's fine.
It's fine, whatever.
I can take it.
Yeah, it's fine. We talked about like a week or so before the season started who we thought the first coach to be fired was. At the time, we all said Justin Fuente because we assumed, no offense, Katie, that they would lose to North Carolina. He saved his job, at least in that moment. But Clay Helton, I think, was next on everyone's list.
Katie actually said, I went back and looked.
She said Clay Helton first?
She said Clay Helton because I brought up, if Clay Helton loses to Stanford, then he'll get fired. But then I said, there's no way they're going to lose to Stanford. But then Katie said, first coach fired. I'm going to go with Clay Helton. So shout out Katie.
So, Clay Helton has been fired. I got two takes on this, and then I'll just turn it over to everybody. I think it's good for – actually, this is one take. I think it's good for USC, but really it's good for college football. Because the last thing college football needs right now in a sport that's been dominated by 3 programs over the last decade is a dormant superpower, is a dormant blue blood. College football needs to have a cycle of blue bloods coming in and out. You know, sometimes Florida State's great, sometimes Texas is great, sometimes whatever. But for the last decade, it has stalled. It's never really stalled before. It's always kind of moved down the assembly line. But Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State have kind of sat on top of the sport for a little while. And now USC – I guess they finally decided we don't want a guy that's going to win 8 or 9 games. We don't want a guy who's going to save his job every November. We want to win national championships. And to do that, we got to get rid of this guy. So I applaud USC because USC is too big of a brand. They got too many resources, too great a history, and they own a side of the country. That's too much in their favor to be worrying about a coach saving his job after winning 9 games every year.
Especially because we have been talking about him on the hot seat, what feels like, and I don't even think it's an exaggeration.
The entirety of this podcast.
Like since we've started.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. So at least 3 years. And I feel like I went to, and I know I've mentioned this a few times, and I've been to the Rose Bowl, but when I went to the UCLA USC game, everyone I went with was a USC grad. They were talking about how they hated him in 2016.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking about years and years and years, but I feel like what needed to happen for them to finally get rid of him was something like what happened on Saturday. They needed something really embarrassing to be able to do it. I'm shocked they didn't do it tarmac style. I really was. Like, I thought maybe we'd wake up on Sunday and he would just already be done like they did Lane Kiffin. Was it Sark? Did they do it to both of them?
Just to Lane.
Just to Lane.
Lane was tarmac, yeah.
Yeah.
Sark.
Savage.
Yeah, Sark had his issues.
Yes. So anyways, I think that they finally were able to make that decision. And you're right, Brandon. Like, this is what USC needs to return to that powerhouse. My question is, who takes this job?
That's a question we'll get to in a minute. I just want to say this. When I talk about dormant superpowers, if you are one of the haves in college football, I don't understand why you put up with any mediocrity at all. Like, Florida State should be competing for national championships every year. They should have fired Mike Norvell the second he lost to Jacksonville State the other night. If you're in your 3rd year and you're still struggling to get out of the gate, and then you have that incredible game against Notre Dame and everybody thinks you're coming back and you lose to Jacksonville State, you're not the guy. Period. Done. We only settle for national championships here, or at least we settle for going in the direction of national championships, and you're not doing it. I don't know why Michigan is just kind of stuck in the missionary position with Jim Harbaugh. Why are they just riding out this string of mediocrity with him? Maybe this year is different, but we'll see. It's a long way to go. I don't understand why superpowers don't have a lot shorter fuses than they have, a lot shorter leashes, because these are teams that should be Alabama. USC should be Alabama, period. They've shown they can do it. Miami could be Alabama. Michigan should be Alabama. All of these teams should settle for nothing less, and now USC finally, for the first time in 5 years, has done that.
And you mentioned Florida State. And you watch that end of the game over and over and over. It wasn't some fluke play.
It's the worst defended play in
history. So it's not like you can be like, okay, well, Jacksonville State just got away with something like a kick six or something. Like, no, like it was so bad and so obvious that the defense had no idea what was going on. But I feel like with coaches in the past, and I don't know when it really changed, but it was like every coach got their time to get their guys in there, right? You got your 4 years. You said, okay, like you're inheriting other coaches' players. It clearly wasn't working. Let's give you time to get your guys in and see what happens. That doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know who the first school was to kind of start the new trend, but we're seeing guys on shorter leashes. So why not pull the plug? I mean, Florida State's season is done if you lost to Jacksonville State. USC getting embarrassed the way they did, they pull the plug because there's no reason to ride it out.
You know who really pulled the plug for the first time that I remember? Quicker than a lot of people are like, oh, wow, this is really changing. Who do you think it is, Brandon?
Gene Chizik?
No,
because
I think it's you guys.
Us? I thought I didn't want to bring us up because
when you guys said and you all agreed and you knew it, Joe, and even if he goes on and succeeds at another program, that doesn't mean you made the. I still
don't know if we made the right decision.
Okay,
which is fine, but we pulled the plug on Joe Moorhead after 2 years, two winning seasons,
and after you won the Egg Bowl, right? Didn't you?
We won. Yeah, he went 2-0 in the Egg Bowl, and we went ahead and changed course.
That was quick, but I mean, I feel like Gene Chizik was one that people were like.
But Gene Chizik.
He won a national title, then had a shit year.
It's different, though. It's different. Like, he was there, 4 years? Yeah. So he had this isn't an example of not giving him a chance to get his players. This was an example of, okay, once your iconic player left, you clearly had nothing else. And it's what's going to happen to Ed Orgeron.
Right.
He's going to get fired after 2 years after a national title, just like Gene Chizik did.
Okay?
Did we? No. So on Saturday night's podcast, did we talk about the proposal on the field at Florida State?
No, we saw the very end of the game.
Right. It didn't come out until Monday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw the end of the game. We reacted to the fact that Florida State lost.
Here's my take. Everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody shut the fuck up. I'm not telling you guys that. I'm telling you guys the online people that say he shouldn't do it, that say this is embarrassing. No. Let me tell you what it's like there's not many things more nerve-wracking than playing in a college football game, but carrying around a ring and proposing to a woman is one of those things. If you've made up your mind to do it, to ask a woman to marry you and spend the rest of her life with you, then if you've planned to do it, if your family's there, her family's there, you get down on your knee and you propose to the damn woman. You don't care. The football game really doesn't matter.
Well, and also, I don't know if maybe this information has come out or not, but maybe this was a first date anniversary. Maybe this was an anniversary of something that he was like, listen, like this is the moment I want to do it. I know I want to do it on the field. I'm also one of those people, I don't give a shit how someone else proposes. I don't care. Every time somebody gets proposed to on like a big screen at a game and I was like, oh, that's so tacky. Why do you care? It means something to them. And like, I understand the visual of it is kind of just like, oh, well, it's ironic. You lost to Jacksonville State. That guy is not going to care in however many years they stay alive and however many years they're married that he proposed after they lost. Who cares?
College football fans are trained that the only important thing that happens in the world is what our team does on Saturday night. So the only thing that mattered, once Jacksonville State won, then it should be a funeral and you shouldn't be able to do anything. You should be able to live your life. I mean, that's life. And Jack, I know you have a contrarian take. I know when you have a contrarian face. I can tell your face. So you say because they lost, you shouldn't do it. They
play Syracuse in 2 weeks.
They lost.
Run it back.
They lost to Jacksonville State.
But what if this was like a moment?
What if his family was in? What if he flew everybody in for this?
Like what if they
lost to Jacksonville State though?
But I'm saying, but what if this was like an anniversary of their first date or an anniversary of something momentous in their life?
Their first date was on September 11th. That doesn't bode well.
I think. Also, this idea that you, like everyone, I understand the take that you guys both said, but this idea that we're just supposed to sit back and be like, oh, that's so great. Like, love is great.
I don't think but just don't criticize the guy.
I think we're allowed to criticize. If you criticize, if you engage to somebody in public like this, you are opening the door. Especially after such an embarrassing
But why do we give a shit how he proposed?
Why do we give a shit about anything if we want to go that far? You know what I'm saying?
I think both of those things can be true. I really do think both of those things can be true. I think that if you do it publicly like this, in the age of the internet, you're allowed to be made fun of. I personally, and it sounds like Brandon, you personally, just don't care about it. I
just think it's stupid to criticize the guy.
Like I feel like Katie, as a female, I don't know how you feel about it, but like if a girl wants to get proposed to on the fucking field, she can get proposed to on the field.
I don't. If I was the girl, if I was the guy, I can't do it. The energy that happened in this moment, and if I was his teammate, I would be pissed too.
Why would you care if you're his teammate?
Yeah, I would care. I would. I'm just telling you what I feel. Okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
How do you feel about it?
I don't care if they want to do it. I think if like the girl proposed to a guy after that and the guy was the one playing, that's a stupid idea. Like he's the one that played in the game and lost, so I think it's okay for him to do it. Like if I was a girl, if I was proposing to the guy
after a loss,
oh my god, I
gotta pull in a little Asian experience here. All right. I'm the only person in this room that's ever carried around a ring and asked a person to marry them.
I did pick out one once.
Oh, fine. But I'm the only person that's ever asked somebody to marry them, okay? And that whole day, you can't sleep, you can't do anything, you can't eat, you can't do anything. And
well, they make movies about like, you know, how you can't, like, wasn't it like Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers or whatever? Like he thinks he's lost his suitcase with the ring in there. I imagine your hands are so sweaty all day, just worried that you've lost the diamond, let alone having to get down on one knee.
Where was the ring anyway?
Some equipment manager had it, and that guy all day was like, "Holy shit, this is my moment."
Just a bunch of Gatorade bottles, some shoulder pads, and then just a ring from Zales.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't be able to do it. I think it's such a bad omen for your marriage. I really do.
You know what?
I don't think the result of a football game matters when it comes to that.
I would say, I mean, this might be insensitive.
And I said it, I'm a fan of marriages, but this one's doomed.
I might be insensitive, and I didn't really think about it until you just said it. I don't think losing the football game is the bad omen. I think maybe the date itself is more of a bad omen, personally.
No. That was 20 years ago. You lost in a situation you didn't control. You lost to Jacksonville State.
Casey, I got to talk to you right now.
Oh, no.
So, me and Nick, we write and produce this thing for the Barstool College Football Show.
Yes.
The program
the
roast.
Yes, yeah. The dark
It's
jokes.
back this week.
I've seen a couple of them.
Oh.
There are some.
All right. So last time we did some that were borderline offensive. We removed the borders. There
are no borders. Well, because you guys were trying to decide if you would get canceled or not.
And we didn't, and that's going to be a bad thing.
But you know why, though? You didn't get canceled because it's Nick writing them, and that's like his thing. So if it was just you up there reading them, canceled. But because they know it's like a skit that he does and whatever. But let me tell the one that I read. Obviously you've read them all?
Oh, yeah.
The Texas Rice one.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Casey, I know.
I was.
And I got to read that one.
You have to read that one?
I have to read that one, yeah.
Boy. Yeah.
Did you? I got one in there. One of them's mine.
Which one?
Did you read the Auburn Penn State one?
I did.
Pretty good, huh?
Pretty good.
That's mine.
What was another one that was incredibly offensive?
Oh, there's several.
I know, but
the last one. The last one.
You can imagine.
The last one. It's just.
The BYU Arizona State one was very funny.
Yeah, we're very proud of that one.
Are you going to read that one?
I do get to read that one.
You better sell the fuck out of that.
Oh, trust me. Yeah. Anyways, you'll see it Saturday on the college football show.
Speaking of offensive,
10 a.m.
So 10 a.m. because we're back in studio. You want me to compliment your hair?
Oh, these old rags?
You're not talking into the microphone.
This old thing?
You're not talking into the microphone. You're stroking your hair. It is beautiful today. It's got a nice.
These old rags up top?
It's a nice flow.
Oh, I barely even pay attention to that stuff.
You get complimented all the time. Enrique's walking by right now. He complimented your hair.
And he's a gay man.
They
know good hair.
They do. And I would make the argument that if a straight male gets complimented by a gay male, it's a nicer compliment than from a female.
Two biggest compliments in this world. I don't think this is racist because I just appreciate it. Gay male, black woman. Black woman looks at you and says something nice. She fucking means that shit.
She means it. She means it.
And Ebony looks at my hair every day and says how she wants to run her hair through it.
Her hands.
No, you can't run her hair through my hair, could you?
Well, I guess you could.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy. Anyways, why don't you tell the people where you got this?
Fleischmann's. I love Fleischmann's.
We love Erica.
Fleischmann's Salon. I started going to her this time last year, like 13 months, September 1st of last year. And when I went to her the first time, she's like, you don't need to cut your hair. You need to grow your hair.
Correct.
And get it big and puffy and
not with a
beautiful.
fork and knife.
And I didn't like that, but I did it, and she was right.
It's beautiful, and I have said this a bunch of times. I know we've put it out on social too. It is a male salon, but the products that she has, I love the sea salt. It's amazing. The gummies, the vitamins, like candy. They taste like candy. They make your hair grow so fast. They've got the shampoo. They've got just if you want your hair to grow, male or female or whatever else you are, Fleischmann. Go to FleischmannSalon.com. The entire shop is 20% off using the promo code Walker. This includes the bundles, so you get a lot of extra savings. They got the paste, they got the gel, they got the shampoo, the conditioner, everything there. It's all 20% off using code Walker at FleischmannSalon.com. Who do we hire at USC? I have a really hot take.
Oh.
A very hot take.
Oh.
Now, I know we're not supposed to overreact to things that happen in week 1 of any sport.
Right.
At all.
No, your hot take's going to be the same as mine. Go ahead.
Urban Meyer. Because
you've got to make him say no.
If you watched that game versus the Texans, which, by the way, we're not talking about a team that has their shit together. Like Dave said it perfectly on the Pro Football Show, like an asteroid hit the Houston Texans because of all the shit that's going on with Deshaun Watson. They already weren't any good anyways. The way that Urban Meyer coached that game and his demeanor on the sidelines, I think is one of the worst head coaching performances in a debut in the NFL I've seen probably my entire life that I can remember. Yeah. He looked like he didn't give a fuck to be there. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, he had some good moments. There were other moments he looked like he had no idea what was going on in coverage or with miscommunications. If you're USC right now and you look at what's happening in Jacksonville and you think, maybe Urban Meyer's shtick's not really going to work, why don't we throw a bag at him, bring him back to college?
Yeah, Urban might not fit in the NFL. And if you're USC, Urban is the big fish. That's who you go after. You get in the boat, you go try to get him. Are you going to get him? I would say 20% yes, not 80% no. You're probably not going to get him. I don't think Urban wants the stigma of one and done in NFL. I couldn't cut it, so I'm running back to college. But how many coaches have we seen go to the NFL and then Saban did it? Mm-hmm. Bobby Petrino did it.
Spurrier.
And now could be Urban Meyer. That's certainly the number one candidate. But let's say you take him off the plate.
Okay, no, first, before we take him off the plate, before we remove him from our meal plate,
right?
What if USC says, okay, it's only week 2, we're going into week 3, very early to fire a coach. Let's just have some conversations and wait and see how it actually plays out in Jacksonville. Let's say Jacksonville wins one game like they did last year and Urban is a misery the entire time. And they say, we don't need to hurry up and make a decision because we need to see. Now, have other guys have these conversations and we'll get to those. But what if they just say, you know what? Let's sit back and watch what's going on down there in Florida.
I mean, USC can certainly has the luxury of waiting around because they're going to get probably the biggest fish out there anyway, no matter who it is, unless LSU comes open and then they're in a bidding war with LSU. But yeah, USC can sit around and look and see what happens with Urban Meyer. I don't know if USC, because they fired the guy 2 games into the season.
Yes.
If they had just fired him last January,
right,
Urban Meyer would be their coach right now.
Right now. Like, Jack, we talked about that. Like, I feel like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
right?
you obviously had doubts about him, or you wouldn't have gone ahead and fired him after one slip up in year 2 or year whatever it is. You wouldn't have done that. So why didn't you just go ahead and do it? And you would be living in Shangri-La right now. Like, Urban would be your coach.
But here's the thing: and I'll open this up to everybody because, and I know we mock it a lot, but like, do you think that Urban Meyer would have taken a college job 1 year after he said he had to quit coaching at Ohio State because of his health?
Of course he would.
You think? Yeah. Do you, Jack?
Well, yeah, it's Urban Meyer.
He did turn down the Texas job because of his health, quote unquote, and then he went and took the Jaguars job a few months later. But maybe he just knew. I don't know if he would have. That's an interesting conversation.
I think he would.
My gut tells me 0% chance he's USC's next. Really? 0, but would I be shocked? No, because I mean we've seen. It would be something.
You would agree.
Such a great storyline.
You would agree that they have to go to him first, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree for sure. I mean, that's always been the joke. Like, USC's next head coach, Urban Meyer.
Did you see somebody tried to resurface the Kevin Sumlin tweet from 2013 yesterday, and people believed it?
No, I didn't see that.
In 2013 they were talking about him taking the USC job, and people were quote tweeting it, and obviously no one was paying attention to the date, and they're like, "What the fuck are we talking about?" It's like, fellas, calm down.
So
7 years ago.
Past Urban, let's talk about the college coaches that are candidates for this job. I think number 1 is probably Luke Fickell.
Okay.
My question with Luke Fickell is he a Big Ten / Midwest guy? Obviously succeeded as defensive coach at Ohio State. It's succeeding at Cincinnati. It's a different world out at USC. You got to be kind of a different kind of cat out there. I think you got to be more laid back. It's just weird. It's just different. Cincinnati, Ohio, and Los Angeles, California are 2 totally different places. And Luke Fickell, but with his body of work, he has to be considered very, very heavily. And as far as college coaches go, I think he would be my favorite. You don't like that?
No, it's not that I don't like it. I follow your logic. Do you think, though, with all the stuff that we've said about USC and getting back to a powerhouse, that they go hire a G5 coach? Because that is a risk that we've seen it play out a lot of times.
I don't think Luke Fickell is really a Group of 5 coach. He is, but he isn't. Like Luke Fickell is a guy that obviously succeeded as a defensive coordinator at Ohio State. He is a major. He's going to have a major job very, very soon. Like, somebody's going to pluck him. Somebody's going to get him. If USC doesn't, LSU will. He's not really – this isn't hiring somebody who's, like, coming up from smaller levels and you hope works. Like, he's kind of proven.
But you could have said the same thing with Tom Herman at Houston.
Fair point. Fair point,
I feel like a lot of times you see these guys that go to these programs like Cincinnati, like Houston, who make waves.
I mean, Scott Frost.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, like they're so good, they need to take that next step, and then you go to and you realize, like, wow, this is such a leap.
Who's the last G5 coach that took the step up to Power 5 and has really succeeded?
I don't think previous failures stop teams from taking a chance on the next guy, though.
I'm trying to think.
Gus Malzahn, is that the best example?
Nah, there's got to be better ones.
Well, not G5.
Where'd Matt Campbell come from?
I guess Brian Kelly's the best example.
Where'd Matt Campbell come from?
I'll look it up.
No, I thought Matt Campbell came from like a D2.
Yeah, I thought he was a coordinator somewhere first.
Yeah, I guess Brian Kelly's the best example.
Brian Kelly works.
And I feel like every other example.
And he came from Cincinnati.
He came from Toledo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do feel like.
How do you feel Matt Campbell there?
Yeah, after the Iowa.
No, I think I kind of feel like Matt Campbell lost his chance to get a huge job.
But then what happens this weekend if Indiana beats Cincinnati?
It's a good question. These are all good questions. All right, here's another. We got to throw another name out there.
Yeah, I love names.
James Franklin, Penn State.
I don't hate that.
I think he would buy into that LA.
I think he would fit like a glove.
He would fit that, like, just, we don't give a shit type vibe. Like, Penn State wants, like, you talk to Roan, you talk to Jeff D'Lo, you talk to anybody that's a Penn State fan, like, they are so over him, even though he looks pretty good this season thus far, because he's such an asshole. Like, everyone in LA is okay with you acting like an asshole.
The first thing he would do, he would get the job. He would be Mr. like Hollywood. He would start hanging out with Reggie Bush. He would start a campaign to get Reggie Bush's Heisman back. He would have pictures taken with Pete Carroll. He'd go to like a Seahawks game.
Will Ferrell would be like his minister of culture.
He would be doing he would buy in immediately.
He'd be wearing like just such an LA vibe type of stuff.
Here's my question. He's got the Penn State job.
I know.
That's a great job. That's a phenomenal job. Do you give up Penn State to get USC?
It gets cold over there. And then I'm sure his wife and his family would be like, hey,
maybe a little house in the hills.
Maybe LA wouldn't be that bad.
Maybe Malibu.
It is sunny out there. The weather's always pretty good.
I mean,
and it's like maybe not that your time's run out at Penn State, but maybe you're a year or two away from it.
You just say, hey, you know what? Like, maybe I'll leave you before you leave me.
I wonder what's a harder program to get, like, because there's levels to programs, because some programs are hard to because of like the donors, the people behind the scenes. Right. Who's more behind the scenes? Is it harder to break in with Penn State and get your own program, or are you kind of just a puppet? or USC.
I think it's easier to do your own thing at USC.
I agree.
Me too.
Yeah. And it's easier to win fans over at USC because those fans don't care near as much as and maybe some do, but as a whole, Penn State.
I don't mean to bring up old shit, but I think we've seen the power of Penn State's structure at work before.
No, you're not wrong.
So. And they're still having issues with that years
back
later.
On your Nick Tarani shit right now.
No. I think that's a very fair point.
No, it is. It is an absolutely very fair point. But also, like, you have your diehard USC fans, and I know there's a USC fan out there right now that's like, of course we fucking care about football. Fine. But as a whole, it is much easier to win over USC fans than Penn State fans. Like, that's just a fact.
All right. So that's Franklin.
What about the I mean, there's no way this is going to happen, but the internet loved the idea of Lane Kiffin going back.
Nah.
I know it's not, but the internet was having fun with that.
I mean, they fired him on the tarmac. He's not a self-respecting man if he goes back.
People get divorced and get remarried.
Of course, he is coaching at Ole Miss. He's not a self-respecting man anyway.
You are right. People get divorced.
And then years later are like, you know what, let's give this a try again. Maybe they married somebody else in the middle.
I think he's got him some, he's got it about as good a setup as a 40-year-old bachelor could have in Oxford, if you know what I'm saying. So
I think, but it would be better in LA.
It would be. The fishing would be more difficult out there.
You have more.
There's more
competition.
Right.
And there's a lot of cameras.
A lot of cameras.
Well, a lot of cameras, but also way more competition.
I think he's just able to.
Yeah, he's a big fish. Yeah. He's a big fish in a very hot small pond.
But then in LA, you're nobody, kind of.
Here's a thing. Here's the thing. Mario Cristobal, Oregon. I've seen him on lists.
Yeah.
No.
Why would he leave?
You don't leave Oregon to go to USC.
But would he get paid more money?
Oregon will just say no.
Or
you
Nike
think so?
Money. Yeah,
okay.
I think Nike.
That is true. Phil Knight. You're right.
He's not losing a coach to USC.
Yeah, no. Nike will just pony up whatever.
No, that's true. And I'm sure USC called Chip Kelly a few times when he was hot.
Plus, if I'm Mario Cristobal, I look at USC hiring a new coach as a challenge. Like, I've got a chance to take over the Pac-12 right now.
Yeah.
I just had the biggest win the Pac-12 team's had in a long time. I'm about to run this conference. Bring on whoever the fuck you want to bring on.
Is there anybody in the NFL that you could see?
Well, Joe Brady.
Kingsbury?
He did go there as offensive coordinator.
Can you imagine Cliff Kingsbury?
But they looked good on Sunday.
They looked too good.
They
looked too good.
Kyler Murray just.
But if he started 0-6.
But if he could get Kyler Murray to transfer with him to USC, that would be awesome.
There is not a coach out there in either college or the NFL
Cliff
right now
Kingsbury,
that is more USC than Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury and Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler. Well, actually, that fits more like Ole Miss, but.
Oh my God.
Cliff and Kyler, yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler, Ole Miss, hand in hand.
He's so proud of himself right now.
Oh yeah.
He's looking.
KKK.
Yeah, no, I am.
Yeah, because
you've been on a show.
They have Klan rallies.
You've been on that show.
I've been on the Klan. Yeah, I've been on the KKK show.
Yeah.
With the Grand Wizard here.
Yes.
What's her name? Alex
Bennett.
I like her.
She's
Me
great.
too.
Yeah.
She's great.
By the way, I'm posting them on Instagram. I love your TikToks.
I haven't even seen
Thank
them.
you.
Oh.
Like I saw, she sent me that I had one.
She makes them?
I don't even have, I don't even know how to log in.
Oh, but I love them.
Oh, thank you.
They're great. They're great behind the scenes
stuff. She says, send me videos.
Okay.
So I got a screenshot today that one of my TikToks had like 300,000 views or something on it.
No, it's awesome.
And I was like, what's happening?
I thought I was going to take that charge.
No, I need it.
Anyways.
No, Alex is great. But back to Cliff. I mean.
Well, would USC, well, now Oklahoma's SEC, but would USC call Lincoln Riley?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah,
I'm just throwing out names.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think there's a point to that. I have an off the beaten path one that I think I threw to Jack yesterday. I kind of like it.
Who?
When USC is good, it's usually because they get one of those California quarterbacks, get him to stay home, and he's elite. He wins a Heisman. Who's the best quarterbacks head coach in this country? Who's the best coach at developing quarterbacks in this country, in my opinion?
In your opinion, it's Mullen.
Yeah, Dan Mullen.
Dan Mullen, Florida, USC.
I have an even more off the beaten path.
Okay.
What about Matt Leinart?
Well, I don't think that's that crazy, but you would have to have a great surrounding.
Right.
But he's also he's a
USC guy. Like,
yeah, but he's not in coaching though.
But I mean,
it would be crazy.
Hermet. Well, I guess he's never been in coaching.
And it would be awesome.
What? Reggie Bush.
No. Come on. If they called Dion, was like, hey, why not?
We got
now we're too far down the road here.
But why
Dion
not?
At USC.
Why?
Let Dion get the next Florida State
He
job.
doesn't want it. He doesn't want it because they wanted the boosters stopped him from getting hired.
You're gonna let him tell you that.
He said it. He said
You're gonna let him tell you that.
Listen,
He has a great seller of himself.
You're just gonna buy that.
He said on air, he said that he already had the job pretty much locked up, and somebody closed the door on him, and so now you pass on prime once, you don't get prime twice.
I don't know Deion Sanders. Personally, I'm telling you right now, if Florida State offered him,
I'm gonna FaceTime him.
He'd be the head coach next year.
Can I FaceTime him?
No, I don't want to do that.
No.
Okay.
We can do it as a clip later.
Tony Elliott keeps getting brought up. I think Tony Elliott's shine is gone.
Yeah, I just don't.
Yes,
if you're USC, I don't think you're hiring coordinators.
Especially Tony Elliott's never was he a coach?
I don't think you're hiring coordinators. Plus, if you're hiring Clemson coordinators, wouldn't you want to hire Venables?
Yes.
I think that would.
You think he's outweighted his he's
also,
just
Venables would not. Venables would work at Georgia State, even Georgia Tech. I wouldn't hate him at. USC, Venables
Joe Brady is really not
Venables
bad.
is like a football guy through and through. He's not LA.
Joe Brady is probably a pretty good one.
Pretty good one. I don't know, but I feel like
Bruce Feldman, the first guy I mentioned, was.
It's a great job.
It's a great job.
All right.
That I don't understand.
All right, so let's move on.
Be crazy.
Okay.
We didn't mention it the other day, but we need to mention it now. Friday, the Big 12 went ahead and made it official. They are now the Big 12 again.
Yes.
But they're not. They're not a Big 12. That's
simply not.
If we get the 12-team playoff and we start giving automatic bids to conferences, are we really comfortable giving an automatic bid to a conference that is going to be Oklahoma State, Kansas State, TCU, Baylor, Texas Tech, UCF, Cincinnati, BYU, Houston, Kansas State, and Iowa State?
Did you mention Oklahoma State?
I think I got all of them in one go.
No, the answer is no.
We're going to give an automatic bid to that conference?
No.
I hope not.
They will, though.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Well, it depends on what the Alliance wants to do, right?
That is true, but the Alliance even said no to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Also,
Greg Sankey, depends on what he has to say.
Let's be honest.
He's the king now.
It's essentially like the Big 12 and the American came together, but they just didn't take the Americans' baggage.
I also love
Yeah.
I love the Big 12. Like a couple of weeks ago, being all high and mighty, I can't believe the SEC poached these teams. I can't believe these teams left. This is not right. This is not right. And then they just go get the Americans' best teams.
Did you see
the most hypocritical thing ever?
The big fish eat the little fish.
Did you see what all the Oklahoma fans were saying? Like, how could Oklahoma State do this to the state of Oklahoma? Because when Oklahoma left, Oklahoma State's leadership was all about how could you do this to the state of Oklahoma? It's bad for the economy and whatnot. Meanwhile, they're going out and ruining Tulsa's only conference.
Yes. Well, but it's only
like how could you do this to Tulsa? The state of Oklahoma is ruined.
It's like if you have it done to you, it's always much worse, right? It depends on. I always feel like that when I'm like walking like in New York. If I'm in the driver's seat,
that's the American. Look, it's a circle.
It's like whatever position you are in is right. So they were wronged, so they were pissed off. They feel like they're right, so they're right.
So who's UCF's rivalry going to be? Like, how do you draw rivalries in this conference?
What if it would be it'd be very funny if it was BYU UCF, like the two
as far away as you can get. Like West Virginia and Cincinnati, they might. I mean, they're close. They might be able to do some things.
But West Virginia's rival will always be Pittsburgh.
That's true. Matter. Plus, but basketball wise, West Virginia Cincinnati's not bad. And then
Houston Tech makes sense.
Also, this football conference is kind of like when the first thing that the Big 12 commissioner brought up was how great of a basketball conference he has.
Yeah. It really will be a good
basketball.
You're best at the second best sport. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
No, it'll be fantastic in March.
Yeah.
At least the Buck game lives.
That's true.
Butt game.
Butt game is there.
Hut game.
Butt game lives.
No.
The boo game.
The boo. Yeah,
the
boo. Buh.
Hub.
Now what I'm obsessed with?
What?
Truly, UCF and BYU being rivals. I want that to happen because that would just make this just full circle clownish. It really would.
I do like that BYU's finally in a conference.
Yeah,
BYU's been good enough.
I like that UCF is in a conference because they can shut the fuck up.
I would assume BYU's was more had to do with probably their religious affiliation, kind of like. What's crazy is Sunbelt's kind of realigning too. Liberty's getting left behind crazy.
Why would the Big
Liberty.
Why would the Big 12 care about the religious aspect?
No, they don't. That's why
BYU did.
That's why Big 12 is a good landing spot because the Pac-12 would never let them in.
Yeah, and BYU probably made decisions similar than Notre Dame. Sorry. I didn't mean to trigger you guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to just stay independent so they could continue. They probably had pressures from the Pac-12 saying, you could come, but you have to change like certain classes you give. And they were like, no, we're not doing that.
Well, there's also another Christian school in the Big 12 currently that's not very Christian-like.
Well, that's the thing. How could the Sun Belt...
What are you talking about?
Baylor.
TCU's not?
Baylor.
I mean, that's just not really. You can't really just determine they're not Christian. I mean, they might have made some mistakes, but
I mean, no, that
we all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes. Well, the only person that didn't was Jesus.
We all make mistakes.
It's a fact.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
Jack found a message board
sexually
post
assaulted anybody.
that I don't think you guys have seen, but it's about Texas, Arkansas.
Yeah,
that I think would be good if there's a live reading because it's.
I would like to read this. Yes.
Oh,
I love this so much.
This one's unreal.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it. First of all, and I know we've said it a million times, college football message boards are the gems of society because people are so irrational on either side. Win, lose, doesn't matter. It's the most irrational place in the world, and it's glorious.
You know what I like about message boards? And I don't know, this might just be a name, but this is GAT Boiler Pickle Doc. It's possible that's a doctor. It's
Boiler Pickle.
Oh, no, that's possible. That's a really successful human being with a family and a happy family life.
I've noticed.
What's a boiler pickle?
I've noticed. You don't want to know. Oh. I've noticed that the in Mississippi, like the lawyers that get on message boards are the most passionately stupid fans. On lawyers, doctors, they are just crazy stupid.
We've seen it with Barstool commenters, especially back in the day whenever it was super easy to figure out their real email addresses. There was some guy that owns an incredibly successful mortgage company in the Midwest whose name was something 6969, who was just going on and using horrible language towards the women, horrible language towards everybody, and it was bro, what you doing, man? We can see who you are.
All right, here we go. This was on a Texas message board. Last night's game was strategic for Sark. Like a preseason game, don't want to show too much on film.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Unlike a preseason game, it was in the season. The officiating was atrocious. Not really, no. You know you're in trouble when the refs are calling the hogs before the game even starts.
That's a fun.
This was basically Arkansas's Super Bowl. That is my favorite thing that fans say to justify loss. Well, this was basically their Super Bowl. Okay, why the fuck wasn't it yours? Why didn't you think it was important? You got your ass embarrassed. You got slapped around. You probably should have taken it more seriously.
Why the fuck would you not think it's important? First of all, anytime when you're playing a Power 5 conference, let alone a team that is in the conference that you're going to be joining next year.
National TV.
ESPN. Their highlight of the past decade, just an exhibition for us in preparation for the future. We've never lost an SEC conference game, and we'll be coming in with guns blazing. I'm sure you will. Understand, win or lose, we'll be running this show just like the Big 12. Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
That's awesome.
I don't understand.
And then shout out to the guy who does this on Saturdays on throughout the week. Is Board Geniuses, Message Board Geniuses. And he just screenshots. He's on every message board, and he finds gems even from I saw one from an ECU message board that said if ECU beat South Carolina last weekend, Shane Beamer was going to get fired. He said he knows somebody that told him that. In his second game of his coaching career, if he lost ECU, he's going to get fired. So that guy on Twitter is awesome. Message board geniuses. Look him up on Twitter. Follow him. The whole night.
Again, message boards are just absolutely the best of the best when it comes to rational takes.
Got a little news here before we get to the board and some hot takes. Haynes King broke his ankle mid-October. Probably stink. You play Alabama October 9th, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's not. I'm going to be honest. Not great.
Not great. Casey Thompson will start over Hudson Card for Texas.
Okay.
That's interesting. I don't understand changing that in 2 games. I know you lost to Arkansas, but you're starting with a young quarterback. Just what are you doing?
But Sark also made all those weird comments when he named Hudson Card the starter. It was like, but Casey's still going to be playing. So it was like he never
did the same thing here too. He said, no, Hudson's still going to play.
Right, like they never fully. And I mean, I know it's like, oh, like we're bringing up A&M again, but it happened with when Ryan Tannehill took the job over from Gerard Johnson. Like they still put Gerard as like one of the starting quarterbacks, even on like the pre-game like hype up video. I feel like that's what Texas is doing here. It's like, well, we were going to play both of them. Hudson just was going to start this game. Well, now it's going to be Casey. But Hudson's still going to play.
The bigger news, though, this week is Phil Dracovic of Boston College out for the season. That's a huge blow for them. They were going to be pretty good. He was going to be really good. Notre Dame transfer was good last year, and now he's out for the season. That stinks. Because Boston College was interesting, and now I don't know that they are. But whatever.
Week 3 preview. So Revitalyte
is a wonderful company.
A wonderful company.
With wonderful drinks.
Wonderful drinks, all different flavors.
And I don't care what it does to our coworkers' stomach.
Well, we'll find that out later in the podcast. But you know what it does for me?
Hydrates you?
It hydrates me.
Gets you going?
It makes me feel so much better after a night of drinking. I'm going to Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you yet.
You have many times.
I'm going to mention it one more time. I'm going to Machine Gun Kelly tonight, and I will be drinking half of my. I personally love the orange the best, although the blue label, which is the Barstool Black Label, great. I will be drinking half of it before I go to sleep. I will be drinking half of it when I wake up tomorrow. It's going to make me feel fantastic. It's fantastic.
That's an underrated thing right there.
It really is, you know. And if you're watching,
people don't do that enough.
Mwah.
Kiss your fingers and just release it out in the world.
Yeah, Revitalyte. We've been
so good.
We've been friends with Revitalyte for a long time.
I don't even care about the benefits, and there are many.
There are many, and you love the strawberry.
By the way, Revitalyte, holler at your boy. We're out of strawberry in this office.
No, I don't. I think they just had stocked more.
I didn't see it.
I thought they stocked more.
I've seen the orange, the blue, and the purple. I haven't seen the strawberry.
Oh well. All flavors are great, but again, I don't have children, as you know.
Strawberry is the best drink I've ever had.
I mean, yeah, and you don't really drink alcohol ever.
Or anything.
So, like, you drink that, right, but it's not like you're using it to, like, rehydrate
No,
yourself.
I'm just using it because it's delicious.
I will also say that it's really good after you're working out, especially if you're working out outside. It gives you all those electrolytes back. But, again, I say this. The best part is that I'm not creeping around next to somebody who's buying diapers, because I can get it at a liquor store. I can get it at all the Total Wines across the country. You know, I spend a lot of time there. Get on the Barstool Sports Store.
You don't like being in baby sections.
No, it makes me feel weird.
Your biological clock starts ticking.
No. It's the opposite.
It starts going in reverse.
It feels like maybe it's like I might be putting something into the universe I don't want. Like, I'm here looking.
You think pregnancy is contagious?
Yeah.
You think you're going to pick up pregnancy cooties?
I'm sitting there. I'm like, listen, I'm just a little bit hungover from the night before.
Don't let your kid touch me. I don't want to kill.
I'm standing entirely too close to things that babies need. I love Revitalyte.
It's delicious.
So go pick up your Black Label today in store or online at Barstool Store. And if you tag us at Drink Revitalyte, tell us your morning after stories. Katie's got a lot of them.
She does. Too many.
Not as many as you do, though.
Oh, damn.
She got you.
Well, I'm a lot older than you, so...
fair point.
You're both the worst. This week is interesting in that we're just we're still not getting that full great slate, right? We're still just kind of picking and choosing here. We're still just kind of getting nuggets. We're if the season were a meal, we're still getting appetizers.
Yeah, we're definitely. See, I know we disagree on this, but I'm going to go. I didn't think week 1 was an appetizer. I mean, the definition of an appetizer, because it's the first weekend, yes. But I thought there were so many good games that week.
Because week 1 was like the best appetizer, the one you order for yourself. Okay. And now we've already eaten our good appetizer, and we're just kind of picking at other people's plates.
What appetizer would you say is week 3?
Very good one.
This is, I don't know.
A caprese salad.
Look at
very good.
Jack's not. If you're not watching YouTube, Jack even did the Italian hands.
I don't know. Fried pickles, maybe. Fried mushrooms.
What?
Fried pickles are delicious.
Yeah. Fried mushrooms
pickles are incredible.
Yeah, fried mushrooms.
Fried
That's
mushrooms
a
are
thing.
Fried mushrooms are great too.
Yeah, but I don't think that this is fried pickle worthy.
I love this slate, man.
You know
I know it is, because fried pickles, when they're good, when they're fresh out, they're hot, they're great. But once they get cold, and they've sat out,
so
they're
it's
nice
like they've
and
been
soggy.
sitting there.
I love
You know what I would say? These
now we have
the
soggy.
best fried pickles ever had. It's in Oxford,
Hooters?
Mississippi at Ajax.
Oh, well, Ajax is delicious.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
He just complimented Oxford.
I did.
They have the cheese infused meatloaf there.
Do they?
Hugh Freeze told me to get it.
Oh, he infused a lot of things in Oxford.
I think that this slate for week 3.
He would ask people, "Do you want to be freeze infused?"
Oh Jesus.
Yep.
Is potato skins.
Those are great.
I like potato skins.
But they've been sitting out for a little bit.
Okay.
So they're good, and you still enjoy them. Maybe dip them in some ranch, dip them in some buffalo sauce.
You know what this is? I think it's fried calamari. Sounds better than it really is.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. It's a calamari.
Every time you see fried calamari on the appetizer, you're like, "Ooh, that sounds pretty good."
that.
And then you order it, and no, it's just
you have to be so good at calamari to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Jack's leaving.
It was halftime. He didn't pee at halftime?
No. I'm just double checking that someone didn't shut it off when we left.
Oh.
I don't think anybody knew. Nobody was in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That would be so funny. If we
This week is fried calamari.
Fried calamari.
But look what happened last week. There was a bad slate, and look at the games.
Some are good.
Upsets.
Yeah, but that's the thing with calamari. Sometimes you get real surprised with how good it is.
True.
I'm just ready for conference play, but this will do because we got a little bit of conference play, and we have one of the best non-conference games of the year, theoretically.
Should be on paper.
Let's just start with the number one game. It's Alabama, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You ever have a take, Casey? You ever have a take that appears to be in the process of being proven wrong, but then you sit back and then you look at it and you're like, you know what? Nope. I'm staying with my take.
Yeah, no, I feel like that happens to me every year, but I don't like where you are going with this.
I'm staying with my take. I know they killed Miami.
No.
Miami's not good. Florida is pretty good. Alabama's not walking in the swamp and just kicking the shit out of them. It's going to be a fourth quarter game.
I mean, even just the fact that the line is 15 tells you that. I mean, it's like Alabama's usually favored by much more than that.
This is going to be a fourth quarter game. Bryce Young will be pushed.
Do you think it will depend on who's at quarterback for Florida, though?
I think it depends on Florida's defense more than it depends on the quarterback.
Okay, because I think Alabama's defense is going to swarm whoever it is, whether it's Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson.
Mullen will figure out how to score 14 to 21 points. Can Florida figure out how to hold Alabama under 30? Can they force a short field and get some points on their own? Their defense is the key to this game.
Here's my question for you, though. You said you're going to stand by your take, which is Alabama's not going to make the playoff.
Right.
Do you think Florida, after what we've seen the last couple of weeks, and I know they covered and whatever else, but we watched them together week 1.
But yeah,
they covered last week, right?
They haven't covered yet.
No, they haven't covered.
Okay.
Florida's 0-2.
They've won easily, but they haven't covered.
I don't understand where you could think this Florida team that we've watched struggle against much lesser teams would be the one stopping Alabama.
Well, I disagree that they've struggled. They've struggled. They've just won instead of 45 to 10, they've been winning 34 to 10. You know, so they've been fine. They've been in control of both games. They've never had an issue of.
but Emory Jones has not looked.
Emory Jones has not looked good. My thought process here is Miami is not a good football team.
Fair.
And Alabama is an elite football team. Mm-hmm. Alabama's not quite as elite as Miami made them look, and I'm just thinking that road game. Freshman quarterback, first start in the swamp, 2:30 CBS atmosphere. It is going to be the wildest thing that guy's ever experienced. Florida will be able to, with veteran coaches, veteran defense, good running game, they'll be able to squeeze out points. They'll be able to keep this manageable and controllable. Alabama ain't wiping out Florida like they wiped out Miami.
I will give you this. I don't think that it's going to be that much of a blowout. We are going to see how good Bryce Young is. And I know we were not stock in week 1, whatever. I think Bryce Young proved that he's a very good quarterback. Now we will see.
I don't know that he did. He put up numbers and he was fine. 1 week, bad ACC defense. Let's see what happens in the swamp.
Okay, fair. But that's what I'm saying is that I personally think that he's a very good quarterback. I think maybe Miami was incredibly overrated, which is probably more of the case. But we will see with this. There's something weird about this Florida team for me right now, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because why Dan Mullen hasn't fully switched over to Anthony Richardson. But I don't look at this Florida team and think they're going to be the reason that Alabama gets exposed.
Yeah, I'm not buying the Alabama I saw in week 1. I'm just going to say that this is a good enough outfit in Florida to push them to the limit and make them earn a win in the swamp instead of just cruising to one like they did against Miami. That's my thought.
That's not, I can't argue with that take.
The bigger game, not the bigger game because that's a conference game, but the other big game is in Happy Valley, where it's a whiteout. Penn State will host the Auburn Tigers. Katie, you want to talk?
Yeah, I just want to ask a question for the total. What are your thoughts on that? Because the public likes the over. The money loves the under. Like
for
99%.
Auburn, Penn State?
No, for Alabama, Florida.
Yeah.
I love the under as well because, again, freshman quarterback in a spot that he's never experienced before, plus elite defense on Alabama, bad quarterback for Florida. I love the under. Love the under.
History with
that
these
Florida
teams.
can put up at least 21. You think that Alabama can't cover the rest of that?
I mean, 35-21 doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
And that's so I just
I think the biggest question here for this game is who plays the most at quarterback for Florida?
Yeah.
I think Emory Jones will because I think he's going to run. Mullen likes seniority. He likes experience, and even though Emory Jones doesn't have a whole lot of experience, he's at least got a lot of experience in the system.
Yep.
So I think he's riding with that guy. Now we'll see Anthony Richardson, and if he pops off like he's been popping off, maybe he stays in. But if he doesn't pop off, I think you're going to see a lot of Emory Jones.
Yep.
Now Auburn is just the big mystery because Auburn fans. No, Auburn's not a mystery. I'm not even going to try to play political sides here. Why the fuck is Auburn ranked number 22? Why is Auburn ranked 22? Because they started 2-0 against Alabama State and Akron. Because Bo Nix is off to a great start. The offense has great stats. The defense has great stats. Yeah, you played Alabama State and Akron. There's nothing about this team. This is the 22nd best team in the country. They're about to go on the road to a team that's already gone on the road to Wisconsin and won a huge game. They're going to go in a whiteout. Bo Nix's road splits are terrible. He's a bad road quarterback. Brian Harsin's first huge atmosphere at Auburn. I don't see any reason Penn State doesn't win this game by 3 touchdowns.
Katie was very happy with that take.
No, my DMs were ablaze. I tweeted out, just like looking at early lines, I was really confused. I thought this would have been closer to like a 17, 14-point favorite for Penn State. Whether you believe that or not, I had Auburn fans like
they're
blowing up
mad.
my
Big mad.
DMs. It was like, have you seen the scores? I'm like, I even said, like, they could earn their spot, but right now they haven't done anything to prove it.
But we know that Penn State has. And, like, again, Graham Mertz is clearly not what we thought he was for, like, a second last year. But, I mean, Wisconsin, there was a top 15 matchup. Auburn's not played anybody, and I understand completely. This is why we make fun of rankings. This is why, like, I had, the Texas fans who were like, we lost to a ranked Arkansas team. Well, yeah, no shit, they're ranked now because you were overrated. You were ranked, then they beat you, so now they're ranked. So it's like, what does Auburn have to prove? Like, how are they 22nd? They haven't beaten anybody that was ranked.
I don't understand it. I just, if Auburn goes on the road and stays within 3 points of this team or beats this team, then obviously I'm wrong about them. But we just don't know. Nothing I've seen out of the Auburn program recently tells me they're going to go on the road even at Penn State. Penn State might not be good. Penn State might be a fraud too. They might be a sham. But I just like Auburn to be overwhelmed by this whiteout and this atmosphere.
What about Sean Clifford versus the Auburn defense? Because we know that Auburn always gets dudes. And I know it's Brian Harsin's first year and blah, 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 whatever. But you still have the SEC caliber defense versus a quarterback who did struggle against Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin has better defense than Auburn. And Wisconsin was on the road. So I'm thinking Sean Clifford's good enough at home that it's not going to matter.
Right.
And plus he's got Jahan Dotson, one of the best receivers in the country. He'll be fine. Kind of like the under here too. I
like the under here a lot.
Like these two defenses slugging it out.
I honestly, at this point, with any Big Ten team, my brain is just like, you have to take.
But you can know.
I'm cautious.
I know.
You can't do that with Ohio State.
No, I know, but that's where I'm struggling with it, Brandon. It's like there's like a chemistry in my brain that's just not working.
I'm cautiously optimistic or cautiously bullish on Auburn.
Why? For what?
They're just an unknown. Like you,
mystery.
I'm guessing that they're not going to be good there. You're guessing they are going to be good. Like it's completely unknown.
I agree with the unknown. Yeah, I want to see this game. I'm not, and when I say cautiously, I mean that. But
I do love that.
As much as we shit on Bo Nix and whatnot, I mean, this is his third year at as a starting quarterback. He's been in raucous environments. This one will be raucous. I think Penn State's good too. But I think Auburn deserves the number 22 ranking. And I think they're probably a top 20 team this year. I could be completely wrong though. So this will be the first real test of them this season.
I'll tell you what though, a primetime whiteout game at Happy Valley is pretty exciting.
Why?
Yes.
I don't know why they would deserve the 22 ranking when they were unranked to start the year.
Yeah.
They beat two teams they were going to beat always. What earns them that? Like,
I think
I would have Kentucky in that spot before I'd have Auburn in that spot.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's just because other teams have lost, and so they're like, well, who else?
It's the point differential.
What has Arizona State done? They're 19.
No, but Arizona State was like they were. I think they were like 25 or 24 when it started. So they haven't really jumped out. Auburn was out, and then we were put in for beating Alabama State and Akron.
Yeah, well, there was teams that have fallen out, right?
That's,
and they
I mean,
were
that's
probably in the receiving vote, so they're probably 27, 28. And, I mean, again, we're talking...
That's more of a product of people falling out.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter because we're going to see if they're a good team this weekend.
All right, Cincinnati -3.5 at Indiana. If Indiana has anything about you, this is a what are you made of game. This is a are you what you thought you were, or are you what I thought you were? I thought you were a fraud. I thought you were fake. I thought you were phony. I thought you were a product of a schedule last year that didn't really challenge you. And now you face a legitimate top 10 team in Cincinnati who's got their own things to prove. They got their own things to prove. They got to go on the road in the regular season against a Power 5 opponent. And they have a chance to go to Indiana and get a good win for the program. This is a fascinating game because 3.5 tells me the book wants me to bet on Cincinnati.
Yes.
It tells me the book wants me to put my money on Cincinnati because they like Indiana. It's interesting because Indiana they got killed at Iowa.
Killed.
But their defense was pretty good. Their defense held Iowa to 200 total yards. They had 2 pick sixes. Like, Indiana's defense is really good. Cincinnati's defense is really good. This will be a war. I think this will be a game that it's going to be a one-score game deep into the fourth quarter.
Well, and you look at, obviously, the fact that Cincinnati is ranked number 8, and that feels like it's tricky, too. It's like, well, obviously, like a top 10 team against a team who got humiliated just a few weeks ago when they were ranked. Like, yeah, of course Cincinnati's going to win, but I agree with you. It's like they're begging you to take Cincy, and I can't feel confident in that.
Who do you think is going to win the game?
It's Tuesday, so it's difficult for me to really decide what. If I had to pick right now, I'm going to say Cincinnati because I said they were going to go undefeated, so I need to stick with that take.
Jack?
I really think Cincinnati's going to really take it to them. But
yeah.
Man.
I don't know, man.
It's crazy because, I mean, even if you look at these metrics that are, like, really well-respected within even bookmakers and whatnot, and there's serious betting groups out there that use these numbers, such as SP+. I mean, it has... from Bill Connolly at ESPN and others like FEI, they have Cincinnati as 13, 14-point favorites in these games. And the number and the market settled on it because if it was that off, it would have moved by now. It's settled on 3.5 is interesting. This is not the game for Cincinnati yet because I think that will be Notre Dame.
Right.
But this is a big. This is
a big spot.
This is one of their biggest games in the history of their but one of the biggest games in history of their program.
For sure.
Yeah, recent history.
Because if they win this game, they set themselves up to do what they think they can do,
and it makes the Notre Dame game bigger. If they lose this game,
If they lose it, then it's like okay, you'll win the American.
Yeah, and it'll be fine. You'll be 10-2 because you're going to lose to Notre Dame too.
Yeah,
and whatever. You're what we always expect Cincinnati could be, but you're not a playoff contender.
Correct.
And their fans and players, they really believe they will make the playoff this year. So let's see it.
Not. I mean,
well, they could.
They could.
I don't. I just don't
they could.
see it.
We've seen enough chaos already.
I think there's we've had two weeks.
No, I understand.
2 top 5 teams lose.
I understand completely. I just do not see, unless there are so many 2-loss teams that like. If Cincinnati's undefeated and it's just a bunch of people with 2 losses, I just don't see them putting a G5 team over a Power 5 team with only 4 spots. I could be wrong. I just cannot fathom that happening, even if they deserve it.
Say it again.
I don't see them putting a group of 5 team in over a Power 5 team.
Over a 2-loss Power 5 team.
Yeah.
No,
they
would.
Clearly get in then.
No, I'm saying unless we have a bunch of those teams, but I don't think we're going to have a bunch of Power 5 teams with 2 losses.
I think they'd get in over some 1-loss Power 5 teams. If Indiana stays decent and Notre Dame stays decent and they beat them both, they would get in over a 1-loss Power 5 team.
Yeah. I think there would be a scenario where they really could. Like,
let me just throw an example.
Let's say Ohio State runs the title.
Don't say Ohio State. This is a better one.
Yeah, Ohio State.
No, here's a better one. Let's say Notre Dame ends up good, 10-2, 9-3, right? Say Cincinnati goes undefeated, beating Notre Dame.
Okay.
Clemson has 1 loss. It's to Georgia, but they have No other good win.
I'm not saying that Cincinnati shouldn't be in that situation. I'm saying I don't
Clemson
see.
will get in.
I don't see the playoff
I
committee
think
doing
Cincinnati would be picked over Clemson in that
I think they would.
I think that they should. I don't think the playoff committee would, because I think there's so much money tied into the Power 5 conferences, the deals with ESPN, the eyeballs, the fans, the ad deals, and I think that a Clemson team with one loss to a Georgia team who you think is going to be in the playoff brings a lot more money and eyeballs than an unranked Cincinnati. The politics of it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be in.
I think they would, but it's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. It's only week 3.
Yeah.
Usually this stuff
Also,
plays
didn't you say
itself
Notre
out.
Dame was a fraud?
Yeah, no. In that contingency there, I said you would need Notre Dame to be
fair.
good. You would need Notre Dame to be good. I think they are a fraud, but if in that hypothetical we were using good Notre Dame,
Fair.
Nebraska, Oklahoma, I guess that's a game that's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Hey, that's a game.
It would be wonderful if this game mattered. It would be wonderful if anybody remembered 50 years ago the game of the century. It would be awesome if games were still played in black and white. It would be fantastic if the middle of the country is where football mattered the most again. It just none of this is true.
This is a game that will be played.
This is a circle jerk game. This is a media circle jerk game where we're all just celebrating the fact these teams are playing 50th anniversary of doing this. There's going to be great videos. Tom Rinaldi's probably going to do something special. Ultimately, it's just a bad football team against a good one.
Will write 8 billion stories about it. Like,
no.
This is a media game.
Ultimately, modern-day college fans just don't give a fuck about Nebraska playing Oklahoma.
Not even
I would
a
love
little
to.
bit.
If Nebraska would get their shit together, I would love to. But
I'd love for them to be good again, but
can't waste my time thinking about Nebraska's 30-point loss at Oklahoma. Purdue, Notre Dame, I don't know. If you do think they're a fraud, this is a great spot for Notre Dame to lose. They got Wisconsin up next in Chicago. Purdue is 2-0. Of course, one of those is against UConn. One of those is against, I believe, they beat Oregon State. Yes?
Are we going to announce that we're going to Chicago?
We weren't supposed to.
Okay.
Oregon State is not a
Do you
bad
think we
team
should announce
either.
we're going to Chicago?
Purdue.
Yeah, we're going to be there.
But I don't think we need to announce we're going to Chicago.
Gotcha, okay,
we should wait until the weekend to announce we're going to Chicago for Wisconsin Notre Dame.
Okay, fair, yeah. That's a good point.
Could you imagine if she announced that? That would be incredible. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, Dave and Dan would be really mad at me.
Yeah, but you didn't.
But I did not say we were going to be in Chicago. No.
But we probably will announce that soon, that we're going to be in Chicago.
Probably tomorrow when we record the college football show.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And Arizona State, BYU. BYU's another one.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
What do you mean you don't get it?
Week 1, they played Arizona, who's awful, right?
Awful. Cool quarterback name, though.
And
just sneak by,
and
barely.
they snuck by them.
No. They were up 27-3, and then Arizona scored a bunch of
They snuck by them.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then they played Utah, and they won their rivalry game. Fantastic. That's great. I just do they deserve their 23 ranking right now? You probably should say yes. Are they the 23rd best team in the country? I don't think they're a top 40 team in the country. I don't think there's anything special about BYU at all. Arizona State, tricky spot for them going to Provo, but Arizona State is just a team that nobody is really talking about. USC has got all the news out there right now because of the coaching thing. Oregon's got all the news out there because of the win they've got. And Arizona State is just sliding by, just sitting there all quiet. And I dismissed them because of the offseason drama. But I don't think the offseason dramas bothered them a bit.
No, and I will actually, a little bit credit to me whenever we said who could be the most disappointing team or who could be the most surprising team. I put them in both of those spots because we didn't know what was going to happen with all the off-field drama. But it doesn't seem to have affected them so far. Now, it's still very early, very clearly. But you're right. I don't see BYU as the number 23 team in the country. And I'm a Herm Edwards guy. I like Herm Edwards.
You're a guy? I've heard that rumor.
I mean, people actually do say that rumor a lot. It's very mean. Thanks for perpetuating it.
I like to perpetuate rumors about you.
So what is it? Is the Pac-12 good or bad?
That's a great question.
It's a great question, Jack.
Because we're like, oh, Pac-12.
We're up and down,
great.
aren't
And then
we?
it's like, oh, BYU beat you, manhandled Utah, but like.
Well, I don't think
right.
anybody was saying
I don't
Utah
know.
was.
Well, they were number 21. They were number 21.
Yeah.
But Utah, you don't have to say is good because they're so consistent. You always think they're like number 15 to 30.
Yeah.
Like they're always there. So beating Utah is nothing to sneeze at. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a lot of we'll see on that one. Can you just go through the?
I put BYU right with
just
Auburn.
To pick out
I
anything?
put BYU right with Auburn. But I think Auburn's
I think it's
a better
both teams that
I
are
have it right here.
ranked right now that won't be ranked next week. So Just going quickly down the list, New Mexico, Texas A&M. How you feeling about your quarterback there, Case?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'll tell you a game we didn't talk about. West Virginia is going to beat Virginia Tech this weekend. That's an old school rivalry right there that is back this week. West Virginia hosting Virginia Tech.
It's an awesome game.
It is an awesome game. What do you think Fuente could be fired if they lose? Because West Virginia.
No.
I think we're out of Fuente firing range right now.
All right.
But
especially it's out of conference.
But
yeah.
Neil.
Wait, who is it? It's Virginia Tech, West Virginia. Sorry.
Neil Brown is the guy that needs to start getting it going.
He better get his shit together for sure. Glad it's gonna be on Fox Sports 1 so everybody can see it.
Michigan State at Miami.
I forgot that was.
That's
happening.
A gross game, but one that I actually
I don't think that's gross at all. Like Michigan State's interesting because
somebody tweeted us that they could be 7-0 going into the game against Michigan.
They had 20 transfers this year. Like they have a whole.
No, I'm saying I think it's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be gross.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see exactly how bad or good Miami is.
Like you would expect Michigan State Northwestern to be gross, but Michigan State looked fantastic.
That's true.
It was interesting.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll see
Georgia Tech at Clemson.
Yeah, I'm just going.
You never know. Florida State, Wake Forest. I mean, Florida State, you know it's a great game.
Yeah,
my favorite game.
I'm about to say it. It's Nevada at Kansas State. Well,
the Skylar Thompson injury took a lot out of that for me.
Yeah, but Carson Strong getting a chance to play a Power 5 team at their place, and he's a quarterback that needs to be on everybody's radar.
That's the second time he's doing that. You remember he did that against Cal and played great. My favorite game of the weekend is UVA UNC.
Yeah,
UVA or UNC hasn't beat UVA in any major sport in 5 years.
I didn't know that until Malisack told me.
Okay, major, fair. Okay, I know our soccer and field.
Oh no, yeah,
yes, major. Yeah, true.
Basketball, football. I love soccer.
Baseball.
Baseball.
There is a reason they're called the four majors.
Baseball. Baseball is probably. I think we'd all agree that college baseball is the most important college sport.
Yes, but.
You're growing the game.
I'm talking about the other majors. You know how there's the Masters? The
other
majors?
No,
I think we all agree that the reigning national champion in baseball is the most important.
I know you really want me to play into this shtick, but I'm not going to do it.
I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, I don't love the UNC UVA game. The line is kind of right, so I feel comfortable.
Can I just say that you guys are going to beat the shit out of them?
Don't say that.
Why can't I compliment your team? It's Sam Howell season, folks.
Let's go.
You guys bailed out on it too fast.
I feel the passion. I feel the passion.
Out on it too fast. The motherfucker is good. Why? He's going to cook Virginia on Saturday.
I think I'm not. UVA has always beaten UNC, so I'm not going to start believing until I see it.
You're cooking.
Let her have her moment.
No, she can't have bad moments. She can have bad moments when they lose.
She's got.
Man, you guys have a great game. I think Memphis is a good team.
Yeah,
that quarterback, that freshman they have.
I highlighted
their
that.
defense stinks. I know, but I'm just saying. That is true. I'm not saying you guys are going to lose, but I'm excited to see that game.
I think
I highlighted it for a reason.
Yeah.
Fordham at FAU. Fordham's going down the Boca.
If we win Memphis, we're just sitting there at 3-0, not getting any votes. Just
I agree
3-0, just chilling.
Who do you have next week?
We're gonna beat LSU next week.
That's awesome. I love
And then you have
A&M. Yeah.
Texas A&M and College Station.
4-0 going into College Station.
Sac Carolina against Georgia.
By the way, you're not gonna have your quarterback for that game.
No, I don't think Carson's
is it bet back on?
Calipari.
Brandon's about to make a bet.
Calzone. What's his name?
Brandon's about to make a bet.
Calzada. I do not.
Calzone.
Oh,
like
how the turntables.
I'm not doing anything.
I don't like what you're about to do.
I'm just saying.
I don't like what you're about to do.
We're going out to A&M. You ain't gonna have your quarterback. It's just gonna be. We're gonna beat Memphis and we're gonna beat LSU and then we're coming to College Station and.
You want to talk about two gross games? Northwestern at Duke, Stanford at Vanderbilt.
The Nerd Bowl.
Both Nerd Bowls.
Stanford is just a remarkable story to this is the week they would lose.
Yes.
Like they lost Kansas State, they beat USC. I could absolutely see them losing to the worst team in Power 5.
Yes.
By the way, Colorado State and Steve Adazio. Did you see that press conference clip?
Yes.
No, I didn't see it.
He did the whole I'm not going to lose the locker room. Why don't we talk about the positives? Well, buddy, you just lost at home to Vanderbilt. Yeah. There's no positives. But these games
quietly, by the way, nobody talked about that really.
Yeah, because it's Colorado State at the end of the day.
You know what's a sneaky game?
Did I highlight
it? Tell
me it. You did not highlight it.
Oh.
It's at
Oklahoma State at Boise State.
No, it's at 10:45 on Saturday night.
Oh.
And it's UCLA hosting Fresno.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That is sneaky.
Fresno is good. Fresno led Oregon with 10 minutes to go in the game.
Sneaky.
And UCLA is flying high on that fake win. I wouldn't be shocked if Fresno State went in there and beat them.
Wait, is it a fake win now?
I've said that the whole time.
He hates LSU.
No, I know you said fake win, but like it's still. It wouldn't necessarily. It's not like huge. It's not like Georgia,
They got credit
Clemson,
for beating the
but
number
it's still,
14 team in the country that never should have been ranked at all.
You're going to have a take on your show that comes out before the show comes out. But I think we have to start calling week 3 to week 6 like is anybody good season?
Right.
Like we're not sure if anybody's good. Like is UCLA good or is just like I think they
it's
are.
Real or not real season.
Pretender, contender.
Yeah, we got to figure
That
out.
Oklahoma
We're separating the
real
wheat
or
from
not
the
real.
chaff.
That Oklahoma State at Boise State game's really not impressive, but interesting because Oklahoma State, after how Iowa State looked against Iowa, Oklahoma State has a chance to be the second best team in the Big 12.
Now, maybe. But Oklahoma State looked like shit against Tulsa.
Yes, they
No,
did.
I disagree with that.
They won by 2 points, didn't they?
They won by 5. But my thing is, Tulsa did lose to a FCS team, but they're not a bad team. They're not a bad program. Bless you. But they were down 14-12 or something, or 14-10, something like that. And I've seen Gundy teams quit at that point. And that Oklahoma State team said, no, we're going to go, and we're going to go up 28-17 or whatever. They went up 28-16. And then Tulsa went down and scored again. But I think Oklahoma State is another team we're kind of sleeping on. But if they don't get by Boise State, then it doesn't matter. We
got to wrap it up here because I think Casey's got to go. We're going to do hot takes, so we want to get the hot takes on the screen.
Yeah.
And then I've got one tweet that I want to talk about before we move on.
Okay.
You just want to get that tweet up.
Oh, no.
From Cottonwood Joey.
Oh, no.
Quote, I haven't watched the movie, end quote. Brandon Walker, December 16th, 2019. Definitive proof Brandon has revealed that Brandon has revealed he never watched The Blind Side.
Is there audio proof?
Yes.
She taught Nick Saban how to coach football. She taught everybody. I haven't watched the movie, but she taught whoever was coach, or Hugh Freeze, excuse me.
Fuck.
Damn.
No, but it's crazy that he knows the movie so well but hasn't seen it.
There are enough.
What are you looking for?
The woman won. The woman won Best Supporting Actress or maybe Best Actress
all the
for
way
that
up.
role. She won Best Actress. There was enough clips out there that you can
scroll down,
put together what it is.
Damn.
Is this hot takes?
Yeah, I'm getting.
Why
it.
is everybody? Oh, I thought they were all responding with gifts.
So you guys can apologize if you'd like.
I apologize, Brandon.
There it is.
Because
I apologize.
Fine.
Can I also wedge a little bit in though? You said it very much in passing. Like I probably wasn't listening.
I've said that dozens of times.
No, that's not true.
But
credit to you.
Credit to
You're
him.
Right.
Credit
he
to
was
you.
right.
Fine.
Hashtag
Credit
Brandon
to,
was
and
right.
also credit to Cottonwood.
Yeah,
Joe.
that's
Okay.
impressive.
Shout out to him.
I can go ahead and tell you.
Roughneck of the year.
Hot take number 1 is really stupid. Really stupid. All right.
Well, that's why it's a hot take, Brandon.
Ayer, four.
Ayer, I bet.
Jayer.
Dan Mullen is not the QB guru everyone says he is. He started Felipe Franks over Kyle Trask and is now being stubborn with Emory and AR-15. The only reason Trask ever got that job was due to Frank's injury.
That's an awesome nickname.
Fine.
Awesome nickname.
You can hold on to that if you'd like. That's a really shitty thing to hold on to because Dan Mullen turned 3-star recruit Dak Prescott. Now, Dak was probably always going to be really good, but he helped unlock Dak Prescott. He set records at Mississippi State with Nick Fitzgerald. He won games with bad Mississippi State quarterbacks. He got to Florida. Let's not forget, Kyle Trask was a nobody recruit. Kyle Trask was a backup on his high school team, and Mullen, once he had him in the lineup, turned him into a Heisman contender. Now he's got Emory Jones and AR-15. He's got 2 good quarterbacks there. AR-15 is going to be the future. I think he's going to win a Heisman, but Dan Mullen is absolutely the quarterback guru everyone says he is.
Didn't he also coach Tim Tebow?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
I'd make an argument he was pretty good.
Chris Leak as well. Yeah. Hot take.
Oh, I'd rather hear. Oh.
Well, that's.
Oh no. Hot take. I'd rather hear Katie give her fresh takes and Brandon repeat the same old shit. Ryan Flynn.
Repeat the same old shit. B.
He's already getting his phone. He leaned down so fast.
I'm going to block him.
Oh my God!
The underscore Mr. underscore Flynn.
Allie Gleason, Fresno.
Hold on, I'm blocking somebody.
No, we can keep talking.
All right.
We can keep talking. Yeah.
I have a date.
This is great
Machine
audio.
Gun Kelly.
If you DM me $5, I'll go and unblock you.
Everybody needs to stop until I block this dipshit.
I got Rika to unblock someone this morning.
Mr. Flynn follows me from Lakeland, Florida. Suck my nuts, and he is now blocked.
Well, now he doesn't have to see you say the same old shit.
DM me in 3 months.
Good.
Hey,
I don't want you to DM all of them and beg. You get down on your knees and beg to be a follower of mine again.
Here's my thing.
Punk ass.
He
bitch.
said he'd rather hear her fresh takes than you repeat the same old shit. Now
When do I repeat the same old shit?
No. I'm not saying that you do, but I'm saying now he doesn't have to see you repeat the same old shit.
Allie Gleason says Fresno State upsets UCLA this weekend. The stadium will be more than half Bulldog fans.
You said that earlier.
Both of those could be true.
Paige Browning, TCU beats Iowa State in Week 12, double overtime to make it to the Big 12 championship. We will beat Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, and then in the season ranked 6th just because we are the second smallest P5 school and not a big name.
Fair enough. Gino Fernaro says Oklahoma State will fire Mike Gundy by the end of the season. Hot take. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, he also had another one right afterwards. Not even a hot take. Texas doesn't belong in the SEC.
Not hot at all. I will never not love the fact that
UVA will go to the playoffs.
As soon as they join the SEC, Texas just gets their shit kicked in by a bad SEC program.
But don't worry, it was just a warm-up game.
Just Posa says the winner of Oregon USC will steal a spot from Oklahoma, and the playoff will be Bama Georgia winner versus the Pac-12 winner, and Clemson versus the Bama Georgia loser.
You read the next one because I feel like it would be weird if I read it.
Brolin McKay says Texas upset about the loss to Arkansas, gets tilted and loses to Rice. Texas A&M blows out New Mexico State with Calzada leading an offense built around him, 77-0. Casey sees my good tweets and DMs me. Well, are you?
I mean, I'm seeing that's a good tweet.
Oh, he did.
That is a good tweet.
She did like the tweet.
Well, there's a callback score in there.
Yeah.
He's playing into the fact that Texas, may lose to Rice. I love, by the way, just for people again that aren't watching, Dan walked by earlier, the radio studio, flipped you off, and he was obviously he was the aggressor. He just walked by and you flipped him off, and he acted like it was the weirdest thing he'd ever seen.
He acted like I was just being totally out there. All right. So
Nick Presley, Ohio State will go 9-3 this year.
That's not an impossibility. Hey Jack, I don't know how to say her name.
I think it's Hey Jack.
No, it is. It says it in her bio. Go to her bio.
We don't
go over it.
I'm pretty sure.
No, it says it.
Fine.
It's pronounced
Hey Jack. Yeah, I met her in Nashville.
Big Ten is out of the playoff while the Pac-12 finally gets a team in.
I don't hate that. I said Ohio State was.
When's the last time they got one in? Was it Washington?
Washington.
16.
So they've had 2, Oregon and Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
USC hasn't made. Yeah. Dan Mullen will be the next head coach at USC and will win the national title there before Kirby wins one at Georgia, says Jeb.
And somebody responded, Dan Mullen will never win a natty. He's too loyal to people and will never make the right choice.
I love the fact that Florida fans are all up in their feelings about this young quarterback, thinking that Emory Jones...
He's pretty fucking good.
He is good. But Florida fans have just embraced this reality that Dan Mullen is somehow a bad coach because he's not getting this guy on the field. Like... Dan Mullen recruited the guy. Dan Mullen's bringing the guy along, and Dan Mullen's going to unleash the guy and win a Heisman with him, maybe compete for a national title, and you guys are such stupid fucking Walmart fans down there, you don't give the guy time. Like, shut the fuck up with this. This is why the motherfucker shouldn't have gone down there to y'all's worthless asses anyway.
By the way, Anthony
and that
Richardson,
was all bitterness, yes.
Yes, that was
Anthony
bitterness
Richardson,
from the
wasn't,
heart.
I mean, he was
a 4-star.
He was a 4-star, but he wasn't like, can't miss quarterback. Yeah. Mullen was like, no, I want you.
Yeah.
So... I agree with your take 1,000,000,000%.
Cam Cleary, Penn State is crushing Auburn Saturday night.
I think I agree with that.
No, nothing makes me have to go to the bathroom like Pedialyte. Not.
Excuse me.
Whoa.
Revitalyte.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna have to cut that.
Yeah, say it again.
Nothing makes me go to the bathroom like Revitalyte, and I mean like number 2. Coffee doesn't even compare to it. It's crazy. I drink a full.
Just announce that you have to go poop.
What?
I drink a full Pedialyte.
I'm gonna remove this microphone. What in the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, we got to end the podcast, and I can't.
We're gonna have to do. All right. Hold on. Let's get a couple more.
Did anybody? First of all, like
you just announced he had to poop. Yes.
But it sounded like he was about to do an ad read for Revitalyte. Like, obviously, it makes you go pee because it's hydrating you like times a billion water bottles. In what world did we need to know what he was doing in the bathrooms?
Christian Gordon says, after a less than impressive win against McNeese, my beloved LSU Tigers finished dead fucking last in the SEC West. Told you, brother. I told you. Come get this ass whipping in Starkville next week. That's what I want you to do.
Oh, no.
I feel like that fucking white animal meme, the one that's like half sloth.
Yeah.
It's like if you're watching it, you know what I'm talking about. I just can't believe that's going to happen.
What is that thing?
Yeah, I think it's like
It's the same thing that's in the Suicide Squad 2.0.
Oklahoma's defense breaks down even further, and the Huskers shut down Spencer Rattler. Huskers take home the win in Norman 31-24, says somebody who is...
It's a hot take.
Very drunk.
Well, we did ask.
And
very
then
drunk.
Somebody responded with the Shannon Sharp, like, no.
Old Sarge Helton to Nick Saban's team in recovery, then replaces Sark at Texas when he's fired in 3 years. I mean,
Barstool
Saban can't take everybody.
Barstool Nate making a take.
Talia is the best quarterback in the Big Ten.
I actually don't hate that.
Hold on.
I mean, I think C.J. Stroud is better, but like...
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud is better, but it's...
Cade McNamara might be too, but...
but I mean, listen,
somebody I'm missing.
Maryland fans are running high.
Florida will impress versus Bama and still get no respect. You're 11th in the country. Shut the fuck up about not getting respect. You're 11th and you've beaten nobody. Georgia will overlook us and get their ass beat again in Jacksonville. No, that won't happen. We beat Kentucky, win the West. See Bama again in Atlanta with AR-15 solidified as a starter. Let me have this.
I like
okay, well, at least
let me have this.
Yeah.
Tennessee will have a winning record this season. Josh Crawford. We're gonna.
Tennessee lost
shit.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. You got to go, right?
Well, we don't. I mean, yeah.
All right.
Like, I don't want to have to like rush through it. Although we have been talking for
it's fine. We're good.
a long
All right.
time.
We will be back on Saturday night.
Oh,
Sunday morning.
because you know what we do?
We don't give a shit here.
We don't give a shit here because we work so hard.
Fucking asshole. All right. That's unnecessary roughness.